Hello the internet, this is Editing Fran. This video was nearly 2 hours and honestly I got bored trying to edit it, so I'm just not going to post it. I'm going to post this sped up version so you can see it all condensed down into a couple of minutes of work. At the end of the video I will be freeze framing the index cards that I used for my weekly processing system. Somebody in the comments asked if I could show a close-up of them because it wasn't easily visible. So I'm going to put those at the end of the video so you can screenshot them. What I did this week was I tried to work through the sprint plan as if it was week 1 of the sprint, even though it's technically week 2 of the sprint. And then once I did that, I tried to make it aesthetically pleasing. And then once I did that, I then tried to do a week level planning session based on the information that I had pulled together during the sprint level planning. I think for the sprint level planning, I think what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to have specific project pages. I don't know if they're going to be project specific or if they're going to be client specific or if they're going to be folder specific or task specific. I haven't got that far yet, but I know that I need a centralized area, a centralized source of thinking and processing on a project or a folder level. And then I will refer to that stuff during the sprint level planning. I think I might also, within those project tasks, project pages, I will try and establish what I'm going to be calling the core work. So the stuff that is like, I want to be producing, 1 blog post per sprint for this client and 1 blog post per sprint for this thing and this project and that project. And just the things that are like, this is the base recurring level work. Then I'll have the master project work, like the big projects, the main things that I'm working on, whether that's on a client level or a personal project level. And then there'll be like all the back burner work, which is just like ongoing, chip away at it, no particular deadline, but want to keep making progress on it in some capacity. And then also it will fill the time, so that will be like hours based work rather than outcome based work. So even within the sprint there's going to be different types of goal setting and goal accomplishing, so there'll be some outcome and some process and some outcome sort of goals. It still feels very, very overwhelming. It is getting closer, and I think the thing that I have to keep coming back to is the why I want to do this. And the reason why I want to do it is because when I am planning my weeks on a weekly level, there's always enough to do that I feel guilty whenever I stop. So even if that means stopping for the weekend or when that means stopping for the evening, it's now 8:10 at night. And I've been working since 10 o'clock this morning, so that's 10 hours, and I didn't take a lunch break because I overran with something in the morning and I was too flustered and I didn't stop. So I literally have worked non-stop all day, and I'm going to get up now and feel like I've accomplished nothing, because there's still so much to do on the to-do list, and I just can't seem to get my head around. Like I don't have a manager, I don't have a boss, I don't have standard operating procedures, I don't have anything that gives me any kind of external structure or any kind of idea of what I should be accomplishing. So the idea of this is to say, what do I think is reasonable to do in an entire month? Push that, condense that all the way down into 3 weeks because I work better under pressure anyway. And if I'm going to be in work mode, then I'll be in 100% work mode. And then essentially I give myself a full week off that week off doesn't necessarily have to mean do nothing, though I guess it could. But that week off will be to work on whatever creative projects I've got of my own. I've got paintings that I want to be working on. I've got drawings that I want to be working on. I've got an entire set of Sennelier watercolour paints that I want to swatch, and I want to cross-swatch all of them, and I believe that there are 98 paints, and I believe that it's something like 4,500 cross-swatches once you mix them all. And I want to do that on a big piece of paper. And anyway, the point is that there's loads of stuff that I want to be working on that require time and space, and this idea of working in sprints is to create that time and space for me, because being a freelance creative is not easy for someone who doesn't have a manager's kind of brain. And I'm sure I'm not alone in feeling this way. I'm sure lots of people who are creative people who end up working freelance because they don't do well in that kind of environment where they have a boss and they have structure and they have rigid rules. I'm sure a lot of people feel the same way. So I'm just trying to figure out something that works in any capacity. Anyway, that's nearly 7 minutes. That's nearly 7 minutes of what was meant to be a 2-minute introduction. So I'm going to go. I'm doing okay. I really am. I'm really doing okay. I feel like I'm getting closer. I feel like it's stressful and it's overwhelming, but in like a really exciting way. So that's it for me, and I will hopefully see you or speak to you next week. Okay, bye-bye. Bye-bye, the internet.